You ever felt like there's something not quite right about the world that we live in? Or maybe you've been noticing odd coincidences. At what point is a coincidence no longer a coincidence? When something odd happens maybe once a year, once a month, a week, maybe even every day. Back in 2015, when I was making the video intro with the airship that I built, 3 days before I released that video, here in America we had an airship that broke free, broke its tether, and it traveled for 100 miles, taking down power lines. I had nothing to do with that, but I have a pretty good idea who did. Some of you probably know what that airship was. About a year ago, I started having coincidences happen on a daily basis, and I realized I was being stalked by several groups, what appeared to be several groups. So I started studying what was going on, trying to figure out where all this was coming from. About 6 months ago, I found out that this is called gangstalking, and there's thousands of people around the world experiencing the same thing. The ancient people of this world knew that we were all connected somehow, whether it be electrically or magnetically or both. Nikola Tesla also pointed this out. Some of the research that he did most likely led to experiments for tapping into that connection. And we know that John G. Trump was a man that confiscated all his paperwork. Right after World War II, there was a lot of testing done, experimenting with that type of technology using microwaves. Microwave communication satellites were later developed. Now, World War II, much of the world fought against a group that was trying to take over the world and create a one world government. But it's kind of ironic that the people that fought against that type of government are now trying to create it. The technology to tap into the human mind exists. It's existed for a long time. The governments and corporations working for the governments have been experimenting with this stuff for more than 50 years on the average person, like a guinea pig. For recent years, that technology has been advanced. So it's no longer the governments that are doing it. Now we got a corporation with no control over what they're allowed to do. It's no longer our devices that have cameras and speakers and microphones. You are the camera and the microphone. These companies are now doing stuff, whether it be in connection with the government or on their own. They're doing stuff against your rights, your freedom as a human being. Right now there's stuff going on in the United States government some hearings about a corporation that's violating your rights. Depending how that goes, the freedom of the average person all around the world is in jeopardy. I wouldn't be surprised if this technology is playing a role in the chaos in the leadership of this country. On a daily basis, I'm seeing people say and do things with such precision and timing that the only logical answer is that they're being controlled by some central computer. You own your data. You provided the energy that created every bit of data that you ever made. There's no discrimination on what they collect throughout your entire day. There's numerous patents in the United States. Some we probably don't even have access to, and I'm sure there's other countries that most of us don't have access to. A lot of it's being developed in other countries. Some people believe that there's a God, but there could also be a corporate entity playing God. If you want to know who that corporate entity is, you can Google it. Thanks for listening.